destiny. They're currently in the 3rd spot and looking real good about postseason play. Arkadelphia was only the tiebreaker behind Fountain Lake before a heartbreaking loss earlier this week to Bauxite. And so now the Badgers are a game and a tiebreaker behind the Fountain Lake Cobras. But good news is they'll get Fountain Lake at home Tuesday afternoon from Badger Field, and so a good chance to make up that game, and then maybe with a little help and maybe a win here today, put themselves in the driver's seat for that 4th position in the regional play. Again, no district tournament this year, only 4 teams going to region. Right now, Bauxite is controlling their own destiny in a big way, 8-0, the conference leader. Arkadelphia dropping 2 heartbreaking 1-run losses to Bauxite, and then the Nashville Scrappers in 2nd place right behind them. And Nashville still has to play these Malvern Leopards, and Malvern played them tough last time. This time they'll get them here at home, so could give Nashville all they want here in Malvern. Following that is, of course, Fountain Lake. Fountain Lake is at 4-5. Arkadelphia at 5-4. Arkadelphia at 4-5, and then on down the list you've got Mina and Hope. So Arkadelphia looking to take a step in the right direction towards playoff baseball this afternoon. Arkadelphia in their, what I would call their road reds with the white pants, the red striping, and the red road hats. So Arkadelphia in the red today, calling out the lineups today. So while we do that, why don't we go ahead and talk about the Arkadelphia starting lineup. Playing third base today is Tate Goodrum. He moves between short and third. He's going to be playing third and batting first. Swin Pentecost going to be out in right field. He's batting second. Trip Campbell, he'll be back in his usual spot in center field. He's batting third. Tucker Johnson at first. He'll be batting fourth. Fifth, back in left field is JB, Jarrett Bell. Number 5, KD Young. KD will be batting in the 6 hole. Batting seventh is Donovan Witten. He'll be pitching today. KD will be at second base, Judson Kuhn will be batting in the 7th hole, and he will be, in the 8 hole. He'll be the designated hitter, and then Drew Rogers will get his first start of the year at shortstop, and he'll be batting 9th.
Batting second, the third baseman, number 10, Robert Bowman. On the mound and batting third, number 5.
Getting the starting lineups here for Malvern. Malvern's going to be leading off with their second baseman. That's Tyler Golden. He's a sophomore. Robert Bowman is a senior. He's playing third base and batting second. Braxton Allen, the big right-hander, is the pitcher and the senior. He's batting third. Another senior, Jacoby Hart, center fielder. He'll be batting in the cleanup spot. Catcher Logan Paul, a junior, will be batting fifth. Batting sixth, another junior, Tyson Cooper, playing right field. Batting seventh is Cole Carey. He's the first baseman and also a senior. Dalen Weaver, a shortstop, batting eighth. And number 12, Evan Myers, will be in the 9 hole and DH. Both those are sophomores. And Jacoby Locke will be out of the batting lineup but playing left field today. So Malvern will set the defense as Arkadelphia will bat first. We're going to take time out just for a second for our national anthem.
As we direct your attention to the flag in center field.
It's a great day for baseball here in Malvern. 60 degrees, no wind. The flag's lying limp out in center field. High ceiling of white sky today. Maybe a little bit difficult to pick up those high fly balls, but nonetheless, it's a beautiful day here. The field looks great in Malvern. 385 to straightaway center, 335 in the alleys, 310 down both lines here at Leopard Field. Braxton Allen, the senior, big right-hander, he's going to get a start today for Malvern. He's been a Badger killer over the years. He's had a couple of starts against Arkadelphia, and good-looking right-handed pitcher. Arkadelphia going to get things started with Tate, Goodrum, Pentecost, and Campbell. The hottest player as of late is Trip Campbell. He's been on quite a tear here lately, putting the bat on the ball and leading the team in hitting on the season. And he's really come on in the last week or 10 days. He's going to be batting in the 3-hole, and this has been where the lineup has been the hottest, is these first couple of 3 hitters for Arkadelphia. Made a defensive change last week about halfway through the Bauxite game, and it turned out to be a pretty good move by Coach Lowe. K.D. Young had started at third base, moved him to second base. The second base starter for the entire year was Drew Rogers. He moved Drew to short, and then, of course, Tate, who is a regular at third base, went back to third, and they made some pretty good plays and ended up making a very close game of the Bauxite game, 2-1. Big loss for Arkadelphia. Hated that. Come back there in the last inning, fell just a little short. So we're about ready for first pitch here from Malvern. Stepping in for the Badgers from the right side, junior third baseman Tate Goodrum. The umpire is calling for no pitch, and now he gives the go-ahead to Allen, and he comes from the windup. First pitch is a ball. I hope the umpire makes a gesture on those strikes. Surely he will, and he does. Nice right-hand point for strike one. So Tate's even in the count now, 1 ball and 1 strike. And there's a shot out into left center field. It's going to get down for the first base hit of the ball game for Arkadelphia, and Goodrum has a leadoff single. He's a leadoff man for a reason, and that's what he's done most of the year, and so he's got the Badgers in a good place to start this game. Pentecost as well has been really good in the Arkadelphia lineup. He's played in all 20 games this year. Got 79 at bats. He's batting .241, on base percentage of just over 300. He's got 19 hits. That's tied for second on the team. And he takes strike one from Braxton Allen. We're early here from Malvern. Arkadelphia and the Leopards just getting started here. Arkadelphia with a first inning leadoff base hit from Goodrum. He's at first. There's an outside pitch that just misses to even at 1-1. Got our duo of broadcasters here. Chris Babbs here. He's working on getting you some quality video, and so we're proud that we are able to bring you guys some picture today. He'll be on the broadcast here with me in a few minutes. There's a high 1-1 pitch that's taken by Pentecost. Being held on at first over there by Carey is, and there's a shot out into right field. That's going to get down for a base hit, and it's going to send Goodrum around to third. Draws the throw in from Cooper. And now the Badgers with no outs and runners at the corners, and that brings up the hottest hitter to date for Arkadelphia and Trip Campbell. Campbell had a fantastic outing on the mound the other night, just did not get the run production he needed. He held the top team in the conference to 2 runs, and one of those was an error. And so a very good outing. Too bad the Badgers couldn't bring him a win, but he's going to try to do his best to put him on the board here with runners on the corners and no outs. He takes strike one at the knees. Tucker Johnson waits on deck. Jarrett Bell in the hole for Arkadelphia. From the stretch, Allen to the belt. Here comes the pitch. It's driven to, this could be two, to short, to second for one, and not in time to get the double play as Tripp is able to get down the line and break up the double play. One out now. The force is off. And scoring the run is Tripp Campbell.
Yeah, just a little bit too softly hit there to be able to be a double play ball. But now runner on first with one out. Badgers putting good contact on the ball early.
Well, hello, Chris Babb.
Hi.
Glad to have you on. Tucker Johnson now, cleanup hitter. He's hitting all 20 games or has played in all 20 games this year. He's hitting .292, but he has a .500 on-base percentage, so Tucker gets on base a lot. Half the time, actually more than half the time he's on base. 0-1 count to start the at-bat for Tucker. Tucker gets hit a lot, sees a lot of pitches. Started the year on fire. He's back, cooled off a little bit. There's a ball over to try to pick off Campbell. It gets in the dirt, and he's safe back in head first. Already Arkadelphia with a couple of hits here in the first inning. That's a good sign. Arkadelphia, a station-to-station team. They need to string hits together to score runs, not a ton of power nor speed, and able to do that here in the first inning. Ball and 2 strikes to first baseman. Here's the pitch. It's down, it gets by, and on down to second goes Campbell. He's rounding it, standing. And now another runner in scoring position for Arkadelphia. Good sign, Chris.
Good start. Tate had a good base hit and and the wind to right field. A lot of space between home field and the backstop. So being able to stop the ball in the catcher spot is important in this game and at Morrison Park. And Tucker just not seeing it well. 2 strikes and good breaking ball by Braxton Allen on the inside corner and just. Tucker unfortunately let that one go.
And it looked like a strike. Yeah, that was not a bad call. We had a few sketchy calls from Bauxite, but that one was not one of them. That was a strike. So JB up now with 2 outs and a runner on second. We'll see if he can do any good. He takes a strike to open the at-bat. JB's got 65 at-bats on the year, hitting .292. He's got 19 hits. He's tying for second also with hits with Goodrum and Pentecost. And there's a shot that just gets about 4 inches foul down the right field side. Right outside. Not even a half, not even a 6-inch.
No, you can't use the Subway sandwich on that one. That was just a cue ball off the end of the bat. And fortunately for the Leopards, that caught about 4 inches too far to the right.
It would have most likely scored a run. Now Bell's in the hole 0-2. Here's the pitch. And he gets him on another breaking pitch. Good pitch by Allen there, and he gets out of some danger. But Arkadelphia does strike first with 1 run here in the top of the first inning. Arkadelphia and Malvern, one of the longest rivalries and oldest rivalries in baseball, football, any sport you want to come up with. Arkadelphia and Malvern, as close as they are, has been a rivalry for years, and no different here today from Malvern Field. I'm going to leave it with Chris for just a second, peek in on the ladies and see what the score is over there.
Let's set the defense for the Arkadelphia Badgers as you see it come up on your screen. Infield, we mentioned a couple of switch-ups. Tate Goodrum back to third. Normally the shortstop when Donovan Whitten starts, but Tate Goodrum getting the start at third base around the infield left to right. Drew Rogers getting the start at shortstop. Katie Young at second base. Tucker Johnson at first base. Left to right around the outfield, Jarrett Bell at left, Tripp Campbell in center, and Wynn Pentecost in right. Donovan Whitten on the mound, and the freshman Zane Hill behind the dish for Arkadelphia. 1 senior, 2 ninth graders, handful of sophomores and juniors out there, and it'll be Donovan Whitten getting the start, and I believe Donovan and also got the start the first time these 2 teams together. I could be wrong on that, but it's been the traditional Tripp Campbell starting one of the conference games, Donovan Whitten the other, and what this does with this game being on Thursday it enables Coach Lowe to be able to have both Tripp and Donovan available next Tuesday when Arkadelphia has the big game against Fountain Lake. So the weather kind of helped out the Badgers' pitching rotation for next week by scooting this game up to earlier to today from tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's Donovan probably been our best pitcher to date. He's got a couple of wins, and he's got a 10 strikeout performance, leading the team in strikeouts on the mound, and he's probably our best option today. We hope he has a good outing. Tyler Golden going to lead things off for Malvern. He's a sophomore, second baseman, right-hander. Got a little particularly closed stance as opposed to a lot of the open stances we see. Here comes the pitch, and it's driven out into left field. Coming in is Bell, and he is going to make a shoe-top catch, diving in, and what a play out there by JB to start the game for Arkadelphia.
Boy, it was close. A great catch by JB. Fortunately for Arkadelphia, they got the call. You only have 2 umpires, and when you start out with nobody on, there's an umpire behind first base and the home plate umpire. So that was up to the home plate umpire to make that call. It was a great catch. It was close, but that could have gone either way. JB did a nice job of getting his glove under the ball, then picking it up and showing the home plate umpire he had the ball.
So here's the second hitter of the inning for Malvern, and he scorched his own dugout with a foul ball off to the left side. Arkadelphia in the first base dugout, the home Leopards in the third base, and that was a foul ball from senior third baseman Robert Bowman that sent the dugout scattering. That was hit on a rope as that ball came off the bat about as hard as it came out of Donovan's hands. Fastball that he turned on. Donovan working efficiently, and there's a pop up out of play straight behind us. Donovan working efficiently here, up 0-2 to the second batter of the inning. Arkadelphia playing at normal depth. Outfield is about where you would expect them to be with the top of the lineup up. KD back on the grass at short or at second, and Drew as well playing deep for what you would call double play depth, although there's not a base runner at first.
The dimensions here are a little bit different than at Arkadelphia's field. 310 down the lines, 335 in the alleys, and deeper in center field, 385 in center field. It always seems here there's a lot more room in the alleys here than in some places. If you can get it over that in a gap in the outfield, it's going to go for a while.
And there's not going to be any help from the wind today, but no hindrance from the wind either. It's a pretty dead air, and pulling the ball down either line is your best shot at getting it out of the ballpark. Bowman's worked the count even now to 2-2, and here comes the pitch from Donovan. Hit sharply to third. It gets into the chest of Tate. He comes up and makes a strong throw and a nice grab over there by Tucker, and that's a baseball play right there, Chris. That ball had a lot of mustard on it, and Tate got down on it. It kind of crawled up his belly a little bit, but he kept himself together, stood up, make a strong throw, and a nice stab over there as well by Johnson.
Coach Lowe going out to check on it. Looks like it caught him right in the neck. Coach Lowe getting the thumbs up from Tate. It's the second time we've seen a big play from Tate. I believe it was at Woodlawn also, a hot shot down the line, caught Tate in the chest. He does a great job of taking those hot shots, knocking them down, not panicking. And that time he had to pick up the ball and make a strong throw over across the diamond. It's a good stretch by Tucker Johnson.
So Braxton Allen now, he's a senior as well. He's the third batter of the inning and starting pitcher for Malvern. He takes outside and low. It gets by Zane Hill and goes to the backstop. No harm done there. He's ahead 1-0. Yeah, Tate, for many years on travel teams growing up, was always the smallest guy on the team, but he had the biggest heart, and Braxton now has got one into short left field for the first Malvern hit of the ball game.
Yeah, Donovan just left that one up a little bit too high in the zone, right down the middle. Not a lot of movement on that fastball. It was kind of flat, and Braxton Allen, the experienced hitter, was able to put a good swing on it and get a base hit into left field.
Jacoby Hart now, he's also a senior center fielder. He's committed to play baseball for UAPB, I understand. He probably wasn't too happy with the outcome of yesterday's Arkansas UAPB game. Maybe he can give him some help. He's a senior center fielder, and he'll come up with Allen at first and 2 outs. from the stretch, and there's a drawing throw over as Allen at first. He's back in on the knees.
Good to see Donovan check the runner. Not the quick move and with the intent to get him out, just keep him honest. Good to see it's been the last few weeks. The pitchers have really checked runners a lot better than they were the first few weeks of the season. You still have stolen bases, but it's just the intent and the checking the runner has been a lot better.
Conscious effort, I'm sure, made by Coach Lowe and his staff, and it's paying off here, moving KD a little further into the hole. A little bit of a shift, leaving a big hole there on the right side as Tucker's holding him on. Here he's going to take the base, and there's a throw down from Zane that gets into center field, and it's probably going to get him to third. Tripp able to come up and get it, but not enough time to keep Allen from going to third. So now what was a first base runner is now a 90 feet away runner. And Allen going to go back and get a piece of equipment that he lost, but safe into third now, and a 2-0 count to Hart. He got a walking lead there, and really
right after we bragged on the
pretty
the runners.
Pretty weak performance there as far as holding him on. He's got to be able. We threw a couple of runners out earlier in the week doing that. That one gets away from Hill, but not far enough to score the run. But the count goes to 3-1, and a dangerous runner is Jacoby Hart, and that could put, with a stolen base, if he were to reach on a walk, could put two runners in scoring position, and got a big stick behind in Logan Paul. Two balls and a strike now. Excuse me, not 3-1, but 2-1. So a little bit of room to work here for Whitten. High fastball that's just above the belt and not deep enough in the zone for. Now we're 3-1. And he's going back now to the windup. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Count goes full. Nice. Looked like
maybe a changeup.
Looked like a changeup, maybe a little bit of off speed. Not a breaking ball, but a little bit of an off speed nonetheless that got Hart out in front a little bit. Here's the payoff pitch in the first inning. Swung on and missed, and Whitten gives a fist pump. He's finishing the inning strong today, and that's good to see. And, Chris, Arkadelphia has been in just about every game that they've lost this year, especially conference game, except for the Malvern game.
Right.
And we pretty much, from wire to wire, we're behind the 8 ball and just never were competitive in that game there in Arkadelphia. It's good to see Arkadelphia out here on top early in Malvern.
Yeah, it is. You think about those the games. You have the one-run loss to Bauxite Tuesday when you have the runner, the tying run in scoring position and couldn't quite get it home. Then so that's one-run conference loss. Then you have the Fountain Lake game when you have the huge inning to go up big and then just kind of can't close it out, and that's a one-run conference loss. And then also you go to the Nashville game at home when you're down 6-0, you make it 6-2, and then in the the bottom of the 6th inning, you make it 6-5. Bottom of the 7th inning, you get it back to 6-5, have the tying run at second, and just couldn't quite get them home. So, the record is not the greatest, and they don't give you an almost, but there have been several close losses, one-run losses. That now you also go back to that. You have the close win at DeQueen, which was a 3-1 victory in which Hayden Harper came in and got the big save. But yeah, this is a team that has been right on the cusp of you just can't get over that hump. You think if you have one of those games where you're able to get over the hump and get a victory in a close game, it's got to bode well for the rest of the season. But this is a big game. Malvern's trying to keep pace with. They're one game, I believe, behind Nashville with this game, and then next week they'll play Nashville. Bauxite obviously helped themselves with staying undefeated Tuesday night against Arkadelphia. So Malvern trying to stay in that third spot. Arkadelphia trying to get in contention for that 4th spot. As you mentioned, a little bit different. No district tournament this year, so it'll be the double round robin, and the top 4 teams go to the regional at Nashville May 6th, 7th, and 8th. Same thing with softball. And the Lady Badgers are in 3rd place trying to secure one of those regional bids.
Yeah, and the Lady Badgers went scoreless in the first inning We'll see what here in a few minutes, maybe between innings, we'll give it a check. Chris is going to go give it a check right now. Katie Young up now. Katie only has only played in 8 games, but he is second on the team with a 348 average. He's actually tied with Trip Campbell for average. So Katie coming in and making himself his presence known in the Arkadelphia lineup, getting the first start today at second base, and he takes ball 1 low and outside. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's going to be fouled off to the right side and into the pine trees here.
Still 0-0 in the softball in the top of the second inning. You know, KD put good contact on his left foot. You know, he starts with a closed stance. He opened up a little bit on that swing, and he does that, opens up with that swing and kind of takes some of the power out, and a lot of his stuff goes opposite field. You saw the triple against Nashville. It was a big hit, 2 RBI triple, but down to that right field corner.
Yeah, and just to kind of give you the difference in what is expected, and he tried to call time, and he didn't get time, and Braxton Allen went into his windup and had to stop. Fortunately for Braxton, there's a good thing there was not a runner on base. That could have been a ball.
It could have been, but you know he knew that he wouldn't have stopped if there'd been a runner on base.
he's better than that. He gets a call there and a backwards K for KD to start the inning. 1 out now for Arkadelphia, and Witten up for his first at bat of the game.
Umpire shook his head after Braxton stopped. You got to think that if that was anywhere close, Braxton was getting a call on that one after KD tried the late time. It was a great breaking ball. Catch that outside part of the plate.
And there's going to be another base hit to get down in left and right center field. And so Arkadelphia with his 3rd hit of the ball game, and it's a 1-out single by today's pitcher, Donovan Witten. Judson Kuhn now, he's getting a start in the DH spot today for Arkadelphia.
That ball seemed like it was in the air for an awfully long time, but still, it was in the air that long. Of course, he didn't hit it. He kind of jammed him and went opposite field with it. So, you think as long as that one was in the air, you thought it might have a chance to get in the gap, but it is a dead air here.
Very much so. Not even a wiggle from the flags out in deep center field, and the bunt's laid down, and that's what Judson Kuhn has done effectively all year, and he does it again here. 2 outs now. He advances the runner to second base, and I didn't see who that was that came in. Is that Carter?
Yeah, Carter Babb came in, and courtesy run for Donovan Witten, the pitcher, and got the bunt down and got the run over, so now he's in scoring position. I know Judson would probably have liked to have had that bunt go a little bit more down the first baseline. Allen was able to easily make that play. He's fallen off the mound to that side, so he's able to come off the mound, field it, and go tag Judson.
Rogers has been hot as of late, one of the hottest Arkadelphia hitters. He's got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. We'll see what he can do, and nice play out there made by Logan Paul. That pitch sailed into the opposite batter's box, and he's able to slide out there and keep it from going to the screen. That would have been a runner up to third. Pickoff attempt. Babb is back into second base. Standing. 1 ball, no strikes to Arkadelphia's shortstop. First start today there. Drew Rogers. There's a foul off to the right side. It's going to get back into the seats.
That ball caught a tree.
Caught a tree limb and came back in with some authority and pinballed around a little bit here in the metal bleachers. And luckily no one is hit. A few Arkadelphia parents and grandparents and faithful making the trip. There's a ball outside. Again, Logan Paul is able to get out there and keep it from going to the backstop. Tell you what, it really makes a catcher work here because you can't afford to let those balls get by you. Strike called right on the outside black, and 2-2 now the count.
Well, and they built it up. They built it up a lot. You know, there used to be a big drop between home plate and that back wall. It was tough, and they built that up a lot.
And there's the ball that's hit up in the air. It's going to hang up just enough for Locke to get over there and make a play, ranging to his left. So 1 runner left on and 1 hit by the Arkadelphia pitcher. And after 1.5, Arkadelphia leading 1-0 here, and Malvern will be due up in the bottom of the second inning. Logan Paul, Tyson Cooper, and Cole Carey will be the batters. 4 seniors in the starting lineup for Malvern.
It's a good senior class. I remember talking to one of the parents here this summer during some American Legion game, talking about how this senior class had played together for a long time. They're looking forward to having a good senior year, and they did that in football, basketball, and now in baseball as well.
Cooper and Paul are the 2 juniors and 3 sophomores, so a nice mix of talent here for Malvern, losing some good folks, but got some that are going to hang around. Back out for his second inning of work is Donovan Witten. Gave up a single to Braxton Allen and then shut the door on Jacoby Hart by striking him out to end the first. Arkadelphia will be in conference play twice next week as well. Tuesday, they will host the Fountain Lake Cobras, and that is a big, big game, as Chris alluded to earlier, one that Arkadelphia needs to win. They just, if they're going to remain in a playoff race, they have got to win that ball game, and going to have both of their conference pitchers in Witten and Campbell both available, so may have to empty the gas tank there.
Yep.
And then Friday they go to the friendly confines of the land of the Scrappers.
Wilson Park. Ooh.
Wilson Park. And not always the best outcome from that place. Badgers played them tough the first time, 1-run game in Arkadelphia, and had a chance to win it, so they'll look to compete. Logan Paul now, he's got the big wide open stance for the junior catcher. He takes ball 1 that just gets off the plate outside. There's an appeal down to first, no swing.
Did get the appeal down, didn't judge that he did not swing at that one, so good breaking ball by Donovan on that first pitch. Just didn't quite get Paul to offer.
And there's really kind of what we're talking about, and no harm done with no runners on, but Zane's got to get over there and get in front of that ball. He reached for it across his body, and it gets to the screen. And with runners on, that's going to be trouble. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and again, it's outside and right off the edge of the glove of Hill. So,
Coach Jordan Knight in his second year at Malvern, assisted by Brooks Ballesteri. Coach Jordan Knight of some of our audience may think that's a New Kids on the Block, former New Kids on the Block member, but it's not. Jordan Knight, a graduate of Bryan High School, and coached there. Coached also at Pleasant Grove down in Texarkana before starting his coaching at Malvern. And then Coach Ballesteri, the assistant coach, the son of legendary Benton head coach Ballesteri. And so,
speaking of coaches, Arkadelphia losing a really good coach today. Coach Stockton Mallett moving on, his wife a physician and getting a residency, and a big loss. The kids really like him. Great coach, very well respected and well liked. We wish Coach Stockton Mallett all the best.
Yeah, it was really, really good job Coach Mallett's done. And I think, he came in, he told the team, before last year started, he said, my wife's finishing her residency. It's a very specialized field. Wherever she goes, I go. And, it was good to see her have success.
Tyson Cooper now, after Logan Paul draws a walk, and talking about teen sensations, man, Jordan Knight, most of the kids this age wouldn't know Jordan Knight, but they know Logan Paul. I think he's one of the Paul brothers, isn't he?
I have no clue.
That's an internet sensation and a boxer now.
I'll ask
and
my
all
daughter
that kind
when
of
I
stuff.
get home.
Yeah, there you go. And there's one that gets by an outside pitch, and we're going to have to come to an understanding as the Arkadelphia battery letting too many pitches get back to the screen, and no blame placed on anyone, but the two of those guys are going to have to figure it out, because that's not going to bode well with runners on base.
No, you let one even trickle past you, because it does roll downhill. Let one roll past you, and it's going to be an extra base. So very important stopping the ball behind the plate today. And
Paul has a courtesy runner as well. He is at second base. There's a Tyson Cooper bunt attempt that goes foul, and evens the count now at 1-1. And Malvern has a runner in scoring position for the second time today on a stolen base. So, this is actually a pass ball.
Yep. Unfortunately, no outs on the board, whereas last inning there were 2 outs on the board when the runner got out to second.
A 1-1 count. We'll see if Cooper offers to bunt again. He's got another strike to give. Coming to the brim of the hat and set is Witten. Knee up. Runner goes. It's bobbled and dropped by Hill, and the runner safely into third on a stolen base. So now, with 2 balls and 1 strike, Coach Ballesteri has a lot of, that's Coach Knight over at third. Coach Knight has a lot of options here, and he just has a lot of different things with a two-run count here, and obviously a batter that can bunt.
I guess he pulled that bat back. Thought he offered at it as well, but
there's an outside pitch. We hope Witten's not. We know he's not meaning to go out that far. We hope he's not losing control of this command this early. Probably not. Pitcher that normally goes deepest for Arkadelphia is on average is Witten. Now it's 3-1 to Cooper. Cooper, the right fielder. Tyson Cooper, he's a junior. He'll be back next year. Fouls that one back to the screen. So 3-2 now with no outs here. Bottom of the second inning. Badgers scored 1 in the first, and that's where we stand right now at 1-0. But
obviously you'd like for that run not to score, but you consider it a victory here. If Malvern only scores 1, you're able to get out of what's been not the prettiest half inning.
Absolutely. And here's a 3-2 that's fouled down the left side. It'll get down toward the Malvern bullpen. And remaining at 3-2. 3 hits here for Arkadelphia, only 1 for Malvern. 1-3-0, 0-1-0 for Malvern on the line score. Here's the 3-2, comes set. Witten gives the runner at third a look, kicks and deals, and there's just a nubber that's going to score the run, and he's going to be safe as well. No, he's not. He got him. Nice recovery there as Witten looked kind of like a baby giraffe running over to get that thing. He tripped and kind of mumbled and stumbled and did a little pirouette and was able to pick it up.
I think he was going to try to pick the ball up and see if the runner was close enough to try to get the out at home. But in doing that, you risk not getting the out at first. And, you've got to get an out. Thankfully for Arkadelphia, he was able to recover enough time and make the play.
So the out goes sacrifice 1-3, and Arkadelphia lights up his first out of the inning. So there's an inside pitch to Cole Carey, first baseman. He's one of the seniors and the last senior in the batting lineup, batting 7th for Malvern. Nobody on here as Malvern has tied the score, bottom of the second inning. Hopefully the Badgers can hold them to 1 and regroup and start over in the top of the third. Back to the windup, looking over the glove, kicking and dealing is Witten. Swing and a miss. High fastball that's tailing outside away from the hitter, and he's just under it.
Yeah, you mentioned 3 hits for Arkadelphia so far, 1 hit for Malvern, and now you've got the run on the board, you've got the bases empty and 1 out. Now you want to try to get that second one and hold Malvern to just 1 run. Then you, after an ugly start, you can kind of consider it a good save of a half inning if you limit it to 1 here.
1-1 pitch is in the dirt and outside, blocked up nicely by Hill. Heard Coach Lowe barking a few orders out at his battery here to keep that ball away from that backstop, and that's certainly what they've done in the last couple of at-bats. Here's the 2-1, winding, and pitch is outside, and as sure as I say that, it goes off the glove. 3-1. Malvern's going to get a little bit of extra cardio in if they keep chasing after all these balls back to the screen. Cream-colored tops and bottoms for Malvern with the orange piping, the black and orange striped leggings for stirrup leggings. Orange fronts and black hats with a big black M on the front for Malvern. Again, Arkadelphia in the alternate red road tops and hats, white pants. And so, was that a base on balls or was that a hit?
Base on balls.
Okay, I thought it was.
Kind of lull you to sleep with the extra time between pitches.
Dalen Weaver, he's the shortstop in the 8-hole, a good-looking sophomore. He'll stand in here with a runner aboard and 1 out. Right-hand hitter, open stance, cocked back over his back foot, and there's a ball that gets by Hill, and it's going to get to the backstop. Down to second goes the runner, Carey. So now back to runner in scoring position goes Malvern, and once again, a little bit of control issue from Witten.
Yeah, and after you throw so many balls, that does get on your catcher. Having to dodge, dive in and out of the plate, throw strikes, and it makes it easier for the catcher.
A lot of movement over there from Carey at second base, and you have to think that with as much control and just 1 to 2 pitching, 1 to 2 position pitching, that handling the ball, that the runner may be going here. Getting a fair lead, gets a secondary but not going. Ball is inside, and Hill alertly going to go out and talk to his pitcher. There's some experience this year, but a lot of youth between those two guys. Zane's just a freshman, and as big and strong and good-looking a kid as Donovan is, he's just a sophomore. So those guys have got a lot of growing to do. They've done a lot of it this year. We've seen it right before our own eyes. Coach Lowe going to come out and join in the festivities and give a little bit of pep talk. The infield going to join him.
Well, and at this time of the year, we're getting to probably I would say 7th start of the season for Donovan. So it's nothing new. You put yourself in bad situations if you don't throw strikes, and that's what he's going to. Coach Lowe and Zane Hill go out and try to calm Donovan down, but it's a mental thing. You just got to be able to battle back, fix your mechanics, and fill up the zone, let your defense work.
Donovan's an emotional player. He works on both ends of that, and when things are going great, he seems to really stay pumped up, but he can unravel a little bit, not completely, but good time out there by the coaching staff. And there goes the runner to third. He's going to be thrown at, but not in time, and a good jump over there by Carey, and he's now 90 feet away with still just the 1 out. And so Coach Lowe out of the dugout barking some orders at the middle of the infield. I think he's a little upset that he wasn't held on any closer. He just had a huge lead there. Not a lot of chance for Zane to throw him out. 2-1 now. We believes the count. I think that's right. There's a foul ball down the right side. Not quite as close as JB's, but it was still, that would have been trouble if it had stayed in. It goes down and rests about halfway to the tarp at the end of the
big spot here, 2-2 count. If you can come back and find the zone and somehow be able to get Weaver out and keep that runner at third base.
Yeah, you talked about earlier in the inning what could be a big inning. Man, just missed. That looked good. Hard pitch to take, but he did, and so Weaver is rewarded with a full count. But man, that one.
Yeah, when you miss, hard to take. You tend to not get the calls, and that one was at the Fitz decided that one was a little bit too low in the zone, and Donovan's in the hole again.
Here's the 3-2, and it stays high, and not much of a zone to put it in. If that one's high and the other one's low, there's just not much more than about a Folgers can to put it in. And he's worked, like you said, he's worked his way into that predicament, and that's where we are right now. So Weaver draws a walk. That's the third walk of the game issued by Arkadelphia, and so now the 12-hole hitter and DH Evan Myers is up, a super sophomore for the Leopards.
9-hole hitter. He wears number 12.
9-hole hitter, not 12-hole hitter. Number 12.
See what happened. Coach Lowe stepped out and gave the first to third signal. You would expect that this would end up being second and third. Now, you expect Weaver to take off on first move, especially with if Donovan goes with that high leg kick.
And he's about 3 full steps off the bag at first. He comes back in on a bluff from Witten, and I wouldn't imagine Witten would be scared to throw over there even with a runner at third base to keep him honest. Peeking back over his right shoulder this time. We'll see that a lot. He'll up with it, missing again just on the inside. 1-0 count now to Myers.
That's a tough spot for Donovan, but you have the 2-1 pitch that borderline low, and you can't get the borderline up. But when you're struggling, those things tend to go against you as well.
That's exactly right. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Myers. Stepping back and keeping the runners at bay is Witten again. A lot of stuff going on here in the bottom of the second inning. Runners at the corners now. The game tied, but Malvern threatening again. That one almost gets in on the pants of the batter, Myers, as he's not backing any. Kept his spot in the box, and the ball just got inside of him. 2-0 now. And down, Weaver down to second base. So 2 runners in scoring position now. There is a dribbler that's going to get foul.
Yeah, they called foul ball right off the bat. Must have hit Myers in the box. And
so now a bit of a break there is a little slow dribbler down inside that foul line on the third base line would have been real trouble for Arkadelphia. Been hard to get the runner at first, and probably both of those guys would advance from second and third. And now we're going to have a throw at the plate as that one gets to the screen, and it's not in time. Long way and an uphill throw for Hill, and he's not in time to get it. So able to come home is Carey for the second run of the inning, and the Leopards take the lead. Down to third goes Weaver. 3-1 goes the batter.
I would figure that would probably be probably a wild pitch, I would guess. Zane had to cross his body in that right-handed batter's box, try to make that, all that to be said. Still move your body over there, try to block that, and because they're not going to be, you get a pass ball here or a wild pitch, and they're going to score. As we mentioned, that it's not as steep as it used to be, but it's still a good ways back there, and definitely tough if you're not used to the field.
Exactly right. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and it's inside for ball 4. So another base on balls, and that's going to bring Golden, who's the top of the lineup. Shoe top catch made in the first inning on the first pitch by JB out in left field to keep from extra bases.
Yeah, Donovan trying to ask where that one was, but that one was about a foot inside.
Yeah, that was inside the
closer
inside of the box,
closer to Myers than it was the Zane Hill's glove.
The umpire is set up on the inside of the plate, and that ball was on his left shoulder. So I think that's a misconception. I think that's maybe what's getting in Witten's eyes, is that the umpire is setting up so far to the left, more so than you see a lot. He's really centering up with the inside black of the plate.
But yeah, that's about 6 inches inside.
And it's hitting him right square in the belly button, and he's not getting the call. So a little bit of an optical illusion there that he's going to have to get out of his head. 2-0 now to the leadoff hitter, Golden. He's 0 for 1 today. Runner in scoring position, another over at first base, and still only 1 out. Pitch is down and low. Witten dangerously close to walking the bases loaded, and you see a little bit of frustration on his face.
Yeah, Tripp the other day at Bauxite, 6 innings through 66 pitches, and I would bet Donovan is close to 40 right now.
Yeah, he throws a lot of pitches. Got that favorable there. I think he had the horizontal right, but the vertical might have been a little bit of a gift. 3-1 now, and needs to get this work on this hitter. Double play or a pop-up would be the order. And he's not going to get the double play, but we are going to come home with it. The throw is not in time,
was up the line. You know,
Yeah.
Zane was in front of the plate, and the throw from Tate was up the line a little bit. And
Weaver's able to go to the back of the plate and completely avoid the tag, and that's what you do is as a good base runner, and now has put a third run on the board for the Malvern Leopards and a runner down to second.
Yeah, just didn't make a play there. Made the field, and the throw was a little bit up the line, it looked like from our angle, and not able to apply the tag.
So Golden on with the fielder's choice. He scores a run. He's got an RBI. There's a shot up into the left field sky and out of play.
It's over towards the softball field.
For Bowman. Bowman grounded to Tate his last time up, and a good play by Tate. It kind of gobbled him up a little bit, but he recovered, made a good throw over for the second out of the inning. He'll be up here with one out once again here in the second. Badgers keeping the runners with the force on, and now Witten ahead at 0-2.
Update from softball. Lady Badgers lead 1-0 in the bottom of the third. Scored that run in the second.
So 0-2 is the count. Witten delivers and fouled back and out of play goes Bowman. Bowman, the third baseman. He's one of the seniors, first senior in the lineup, batting in the 2 spot for Malvern. Tucker Johnson not holding the runner at first. KD deep in the, and there goes the runner to third, and he's halfway there before, once again, just too much of a lead, Chris. The guys are getting, well, they're getting between the shortstop and third baseman before the pitches ever reaches the catcher, and there's just nothing they can do with that.
Yeah, and especially with a high leg kick, and you almost hit the batter on that one as well. Just not really finding the control today from the mound.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Really need to get this out as 2 runners are in scoring position. High strikeout, swinging and missing, and just what Arkadelphia needs. And a dangerous hitter up now, Braxton Allen. He had the first hit of the game for Malvern back in the first.
Yep, we're only in the bottom of the second inning, but this is one of those first big spots of the game. If you can get out of this with only being down 2, you're okay. But for a base hit, scores 2 here, and that would qualify for the big inning.
Allen takes strike 1 right down at the knees on the inside. Probably a good take. Not a whole lot you can do with that. Good placement there by Witten. Runners at second and third for Malvern. 2 down here, bottom of the second. Malvern has played 3 here to take a 3-1 lead. And Braxton Allen, the pitcher, is going to hit one to the left side, and up with it is Drew Rogers. Strong throw is not in time, and both runs are going to score.
That's good base running by Malvern. The runner from second was in front, and Drew Rogers was playing a couple of steps back. He was able to make the play, but with Allen's long legs and combined with his speed, he was able to beat that one out by half a step.
RBI single, 2 RBI single for Allen, and he's 2 for 2 today. And that'll be scored a base hit, I would imagine, because that ball was in the hole and he beat it down the line. Not a bad play by Drew. He was deep in the hole and had a strong throw, just not in time to make it.
Probably going to get 1 RBI and the other run will score on the throw, but can't charge that ball, and the runner's there. It's a nice job by the base runner of shielding the ball, shielding the fielder from not being able to come up and charge that ball, and that made the difference in 3-1 and 5-1.
There was a throw over to Allen at first, and it might have got him. Tucker caught the ball a little bit too far out in front. I think if he'd have let the ball travel a little more toward the bag, he might have got him.
Yep. Allen slid to that back corner of that bag as well and got that long right hand back to that back corner.
So the new batter is Jacoby Hart, center fielder. He struck out last time up to end the first. And we'll see if he can push his fellow senior Braxton Allen around. 5-1 now, as Arkadelphia has given up that big inning, and hopefully this will be the end of it. And Witten needs a little breather, as does Zane Hill. Both of them working hard here and putting in a lot of miles here in the bottom of the second. 2 balls, no strikes, and that one gets in on the left shoulder of Hart. And
got a twofer. Got Hart's shoulder and the umpire in the mask.
So hit by a pitch, goes down to first, Hart. Courtesy runner for Allen goes down to second base.
I believe that's probably going to be it for Donovan. You know, just not able to find the zone today. You know, let too many on runners, and then well, the defensive substitutions will be Ashton Cobb's going to come into the mound. Looks like Drew Rogers is going to go back to second base. Donovan Whitten at short. Tate Goodrum's going to stay at third. See what that does with. I guess KD will stay in the lineup.
Probably going to stay in the lineup in. Well, let's see. We've got Kuhn in as DH.
Ashton Cobb coming in.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out when the
main thing is Arkadelphia needs some extended work out of their bullpen, and that's been also an area of growth this year. A lot of youth in that bullpen. No upperclassmen at all, really, other than just some fill-ins. You see Tate Goodrum from time to time, and Tucker Johnson's came in and given a few innings. But most of the work has come from Ashton Cobb and Hayden Harper. And so that's where a lot of it comes. You may even see Carter Babb a little today in this long bullpen run.
The Tuesday night's game at Bauxite started about 4:50. And I believe by this time that game was already in the 6th inning. Just
hour and 15-minute game.
15-minute game, and here we are an hour into this, and we got a little bit early start. Hour into this, we're only in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, and it's not the hour in that the Badgers wanted. It's going the wrong way. They'd rather it be an hour and 15-minute game because they're going to have to put some runs on the board against a senior pitcher that just doesn't give up a whole lot. Logan Paul now, he walked his first time up. He was the first batter to walk in the lineup for Malvern. He started this inning, so we batted around now, and Logan was the first batter of the inning. So
that's an open stance right there, Blake.
I believe it is. Cobb, one of the better at holding runners on, and you see it here as he spins and makes it a pretty close play as Drew Rogers able to get over there and put the tag on, and those two have done this a few times this year and starting to really figure it out. Cobb probably going to be your most fundamentally sound pitcher on the staff.
Yep. Paul takes away the inside part. He's got that foot right on that chalk of the right-handed batter's box with that open stance, and he's not going to get time and swings and misses. That's the second time that a batter today. The first one was KD Young for Arkadelphia. That time Logan Paul tried to ask for time, and Fitz behind the plate wouldn't give it to him. He tells him why. You know, he stepped out after that one and said, I can't give it to you that late. And he swung at the high fastball.
Good pitch placement there by Cobb. Long look at the second base runner. Good pitch that's fouled off into the dugout over Arkadelphia's way. So Cobb working ahead now, no balls and 2 strikes. Just what the doctor ordered, if he could come in and shut down the middle of this Malvern lineup and stop the bleeding. The dam is opened up here for 5 big runs, and Arkadelphia needs to stop. From the belt, just inside, and
Paul tried to inch that foot on up there to try to get that hit by a pitch.
As a batter, an 0-2 hit by a pitch is like getting an apple pie in your sack at McDonald's and you didn't pay for one.
Yeah.
So 1-2 now, and a long look again by Cobb. He kicks and deals, and That one gets low, and Paul lets it go and evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 out, 2 on. Still only 2 hits for Malvern. They've scored 5 runs, but the 2 hits result of walks, pass balls, and wild pitches for the most part. Here's the 2-2. That should be strike 3, but it's not, and the runners advance.
Well, that's a good-looking pitch.
Boy, it was. I don't know where it was. I don't know where it ended up, but it looked good crossing the plate, and Cobb's motioning for his catcher to go out, so the 2 freshmen for Arkadelphia are going to chop it up a little bit and make sure they're on the same page. Big pitch here at 3-2.
He's saying if I can't throw my breaking ball there, where am I going to throw it?
Exactly.
That was a great pitch by Ashton. That was a really good pitch on a 2-2. That must have been, of course, we're blocked. You see on your screen, we're blocked by the umpire, especially the way he sets up over that left shoulder. That was a really, really good breaking pitch that fooled the batter, and the batter got the benefit.
And there's a dribbler down the line that just gets fouled.
Well, I think it fouled off of his foot.
Okay.
They called that one foul out of the box, and you see Paul kind of trying to walk that one off a little bit.
Did get his left foot. That thing made a beeline right down the chalk and didn't get into foul territory until it was in the dirt, just short of the third base bag, but nonetheless off out of the box, a foul ball. So 3 balls and 2 strikes again, and the Malvern catcher will have a chance to drive in a couple of more runs and put a big crooked number up there for Malvern. 3-2, set, kick, outside, ball 4, and
that's tough for Ashton because it was 2-2, and he threw a really, really good breaking ball, didn't get the call, and then comes back with a couple of balls, and then Paul fouls one off.
So the Badger killer this year has been walks, and we go again, and bases loaded. Tyson Cooper, the right fielder, he sacrificed 1-3. And actually scored the first run of he was RBI the first run in. That was Logan Paul who walked, or his courtesy runner anyway, that was a result of the Logan Paul walk. So he'll get his second at bat of the inning.
It's been a long bottom of the second, Blake.
It has. 2 walks for Logan Paul. He was the leadoff hitter in this inning, and he just walked again. And so we're seeing our 11th batter of the inning. Swing and miss, and Cobb took a little bit off of that one and got the hitter out in front. Bases loaded. Full of Leopards. Big spot here for the young freshman, Ashton Cobb. 1-1 pitch, and here it is. Swung on and driven deep to left field. It's going back. It could be gone. Grand slam home run.
Grand slam home run, number 3, Tyson Cooper.
And that is not good. So 9 runs come across, and there was really no doubt about that one. Pitch that just hung up a little bit on him. He was out in front of the pitch before. He waited on that one and took it to Funky Town.
Yeah, that was a shot. You know, it's 335 in the alley, probably about 325, 330 right there at that spot, and that was a few feet over that wall. It's a, you know, I don't know if you watched the Arkadelphia, the Arkansas UAPB game, but there was a spot there for UAP where they're just trying to get out of an inning, only giving up 4 or 5. They have a very similar situation. You know, in baseball, it comes down to, you know, you miss it, you don't get the benefit of a call one way or the other. And Ashton, you go back to that 2-2 pitch that could have been an out and it wasn't. And then baseball, as it would be, you know, you end up walking, and then one bad pitch ends up being a big hit.
Yeah, you lose a good pitch, you don't get the call, and you hang one up there and they tattoo it, and there's another one's going to be hit down the left. That one should get fouled. Bell giving it a run and a step short. It'll fall harmlessly into foul territory. So 2 balls and a long, loud strike to Cole Carey. He walked as well in this inning.
Some geese flying out there over the left center. It's probably a good thing they weren't there a couple of.
That one, that would have been a little bit close. A little bit of breeze starting to pick up out in left field. It's not really making its way down onto the playing surface yet, but a little bit of a breeze. See the trees whistling a little bit out there. Maybe that was off that home run. Maybe that was the flyby jet wash from that home run that just went out. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Stays up high.
It's the third hit of the day. Third hit of the day. You look at
3 hits
starting this inning. You have a walk, sacrifice bunt, walk, fielder's choice, strikeout, RBI single to the infield, hit by pitch, walk, and then the big hit.
Nice play to catch the foul ball and end the inning, Zane Hill. And, man, he needed that, and so did the rest of the Badgers. 9 runs across in the bottom of the second inning. And, man, what started out and looked good for a while just turned into a knuckle sandwich here in the bottom of the second.
Whatever the opposite of look good was. That's a good we're lined up right with this. And that ball was over the screen. It came back. It was coming back down against, the opposite way of the way Zane was running. He did a nice job of navigating the slope and reaching back and making that catch. It got a little bit out of your screen, so we couldn't quite see that, but it was a nice play that was much needed for Arkadelphia to get out of that half inning.
So Arkadelphia out of the dugout as an entire team, and get a little bit of a where do we go from here chant. And it's early in the ball game. And when you look at the second line on the line score, Arkadelphia has 3 hits. Malvern has 3 hits. 1 run against 9, and that's where a lot of the youth and inexperience is coming through for Arkadelphia against an very experienced Malvern team. Arkadelphia playing Bauxite earlier this week. Bauxite was where Arkadelphia is now. About 2 years ago, they had a team full of youth and inexperience, and just kind of took some lumps that year. And now they've been together for about 2 or 3 years, a lot of them, and they're a pretty solid baseball team and don't make a lot of mistakes. They don't throw a lot of walks. Bauxite's a team that took their lumps, kind of like Arkadelphia's doing now with youth and inexperience. And Arkadelphia, not that they can't be good and finish strong this year, but things look really, really good in another year or two for the Badgers as these kids continue to grow up and learn and get better. And this is how you do it. Braxton Allen back out for his third inning of work. He's given up 1 run on 3 hits. Goodrum now is first Badger hitter back to the top of the lineup. So Arkadelphia batted through.
You just said this, but look at that line score out there. 1 run on 3 hits for Arkadelphia, 9 runs on 3 hits for Malvern. Now, one of them's a very loud hit. The home run was a grand slam, but, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 walks, 2 hit by pitches, an infield single down the line, so.
Yeah, a couple of things are not going to win ball games for you. Nice play there as the third baseman comes up and makes the play there. And
yeah, Robert Bowman came across. Weaver was charging from short. Bowman took it on the short hop, made a nice throw over to the first baseman, Cole Carey. Did a nice scoop in the dirt. That's the play that Arkadelphia didn't get in the bottom of the second.
So here's Pentecost. There's a ball that comes in on him, and, man, it's down 9-1. You got to have base runners.
Yeah. That might have gotten his jersey.
Take one for the team there, but nonetheless, here's a dribbler down the right side. The first baseman going to have all time to make the unassisted play. And so Arkadelphia not seeing a lot of pitches here, and they may put the Badger pitchers back out of the mound in quick order here as they're quickly down 2 outs. Trip Campbell up. Third batter here in the inning.
55 pitches for Donovan in that inning and 2/3. Not the outing that he wanted, obviously. You could see him disappointed when he came out.
Campbell with a foul ball. He even in the count and a ball and a strike. Here's the pitch. That's a call strike. You know, you just have to, at some point, you just have to fill it up, as Coach Lowe says, and that's what Allen's doing. He's working quickly, not taking a lot of time. No runners on to have to hold. Arkadelphia going quietly here in the third. 2-2 now is the count to Tripp.
2-1 Malvern in the softball game, as Malvern got 2 runs, I believe, in the bottom of the third.
Campbell has played in all 20 games, and
wow.
he strikes out.
That's tough. That's the that's tough. You know, the left-handed batter, it's the same spot you get on that right-handed. That was right over just from where I'm standing. I can see that one come right over that chalk of the outside batter. That was a tough one. That's the one Donovan was not getting, and rightly so, because they were, about 6 inches off the plate. But when you're rolling good, you get the benefit of that. You know, it's just like the opposite side for Donovan. When you can't find it, you're not going to be able to get the call. And when you are finding the zone, the umpire expects you to throw strikes, and you're going to get the benefit of that.
And that's a rosy explanation. Mine is high school umpires get paid by the game, not the hour. And that last half inning that Arkadelphia was out there, the umpire probably earned his keep. And, this is one of these things where, look, you got to get the bat off your shoulder and go to work. You're down 9-1. And so Ashton Cobb back out, gave up the grand slam, but not all the runs were his. Only one actually was his, so he's only got one earned run today.
You talked about that a while ago. The umpire's setting up right there. When you have a right-handed batter and he hits that glove, there's a kneecap sitting right there, and you say, man, that almost hit his kneecap.
Mm-hmm.
When there's not a batter over there, it's a left-handed batter, you don't that came right to the glove. It's a great job by Paul, a good job by Allen of hitting his spot, and they when you're rolling, and got the call.
So the Badger defense will set, and we're back to Dalen Weaver. He walked last inning. We're going to be able to say that a couple more times. He did walk his last time up in the last inning.
Walked and then ran a couple of bases.
He did, and scored, as did the rest of the Malvern team. 9 hitters in the lineup and 9 scores, 9 runs across.
Ashton gets that call. He's like, I wish I could have gotten that one that last.
No doubt. Why didn't you give me that one before I walked the bases?
I could have used it when it was 2-2 last inning before the bomb.
Gave up a laser beam. So Cobb working to Weaver. Weaver going to bunt, and it's to Cobb's right side. He's going to have to be quick, and he is. Good throw, good stretch over there to get to Speedy Weaver, and he was good idea there by Malvern.
It's just a good job fielding your position by Ashton Cobb. He came off the mound to the right side, fielded it cleanly, threw a strike over to Tucker, and a good job by Tucker of making a stretch and making a play.
Myers, who's the 9-spot hitter, he's walked as well last inning, and so now with 1 out, Arkadelphia needs to get the bottom of the lineup because the top of the lineup is tough for Malvern. Here's the pitch. Starts him off with a breaking pitch that just gets off the outside and really close. When the ball is caught by the catcher and it's nearly on the black, you think it's got to cross the plate somewhere in its route. And it's not where the ball is caught. It's where it crosses the plate, or supposed to be. 2 balls and no strikes, and shrinking the zone again.
We don't have this angle very often to see where that umpire sets up, but he's got a tough time seeing that he gets a call on that outside part there, which is about where the breaking ball was. But
and that's 6 inches outside his right shoulder, the umpire's, that is. And Zane's setting up on the inside of the plate, and there's a shot that should be measured up and caught by Campbell. He's coming in on the hurry and makes the play in short center field. So 2 up, 2 down for the Arkadelphia defense here in the bottom of the third.
But as a pitcher and catcher, you have to adjust to that. You know, the catcher's got to be able to see what's getting, what's not. The pitcher, communicate with your pitcher, adjust to, every umpire is going to be different and where they set up, how they set up, what they like, and you've got to be able to adjust to that. Now, we're not asking them to call that one a strike.
No. Tyler Golden back up. He was robbed of a base hit in the first inning and hit into a fielder's choice in the second. There's a strike that is a little bit of a generous call, maybe a high pitch, not a very tall hitter in Golden. A little smaller strike zone than Braxton Allen. 1-1 pitch.
Said it last game. That's one of those they would have circled around on K zone to see if it nicked the top of the strike zone after it came over. And then they would have said, "Oh, we missed that one by a centimeter."
2 balls and a strike now to the Malvern leadoff hitter, Tyler Golden, second baseman. He's not reached. Well, he has reached. He reached on a fielder's choice back in the second inning. So 3-1 now, and Cobb leaves it up high. So another walk.
He either said upstairs. It almost sounded like he said outside. I think he said ball outside.
Well, it may be outside to him, but it's not outside over the plate. It was right down the middle and
it was
high.
Up, though.
It was a ball, but it was not outside. It was right down the middle of the plate. So maybe he needs to take his change or his ball out of the bag on his left hip and put them in his right hip so he gets a little lean there. But, he's got a high shoe there on that right foot. He may be a little off balance. There's a good throw from Zane. It doesn't get down enough to get the runner, so into second base and stolen base for Tyler Golden.
It's off the glove of Donovan into shallow center field. Drew Rogers is there, but not that the runner would have gone, but Donovan kept the imaginary tag on his leg and gave Drew a couple of extra seconds to get out there and get that ball.
Absolutely. Good play there. Shading over a little is Drew to his right, patting the glove, keeping the runner honest. A 1-0 pitch coming here from Cobb, and long secondary hop out there from Golden, but not going.
Looked like that was a breaking ball that didn't break. He expected it to break back in the zone, and just didn't quite get the break on that one Ashton was expecting.
Dangerously close to Bowman. He grounded out in the first, struck out in the second, and he's up now with 2 outs and a big 9-1 lead here in the bottom of the third. Runner in scoring position. Cobb coming, and the ball gets between the legs of Hill. And this field is a young catcher killer.
Yeah.
That dropping, sloping gets in the head. I've been doing these broadcasts now for about 4 years, and we've seen 4 different catchers in those 4 years, and this place eats them up. It's
this used to be, we can talk about it during a break when we don't have action going on, but big spot here is you have a turnaround and bunt. Nice pitch by Ashton. The batter just tried to, Bowman just tried to distract him and draw a walk. But, this has been built up. I'd say, he's got been here longer than I have, but when you say the backstop was built up a couple of feet, the slope used to be a little bit.
There's a foul ball off to the right side. Yeah, I think
I remember.
This was originally built. This was on plate back.
Yeah, I remember Austin White when he was a catcher. There was a pass ball that came to the base of the backstop, and when he stood up and threw, he released it at the top of his throw, and it was a straight throw, and Jake Knight caught the ball 3 inches off the ground, and it was a fabulous play. They ended up getting the runner out, but I just remember seeing that, and man, that has got to be tough for a catcher.
Foul ball backing out of play once again by Bowman as he's got a good at bat going. Yeah, you used to have to pop your ears when you came back from the screen to behind the plate. It's like climbing a mountain. Kind of like learning how to play the Green Monster at Fenway.
Yeah.
You don't know how to do it until you have it. stays up again for Bowman, so he's finally on base. And Allen again, who's got an RBI single. He scored 2 RBIs. Actually, he's going to have an RBI and probably a run scored on the throw. But nonetheless, he's been on twice and now got runners in scoring position. Cobb with a throw over to Bowman. Bowman gets down the line well. He'll most likely be a threat to score here, or a threat to steal, excuse me. Nolan Allen can put the ball into a gap somewhere and score them both, and he's off and running. The throw is down, not in time, and the run scores easily from third. So 10-1 now is the score. Pitch was a ball, I assume.
Yeah, that was low, and Zane had to pick that one up low and try to get that throw down there, and Donovan couldn't pick it up on the hop.
So the runner's Bowman. He's now at second base. Another run comes across. Now he's going to third, and there's a hit and run that's going to get up high. It looks long, but coming in is Campbell, and he makes the third out. And so only 1 run across this inning, but it puts the Lampards into double digits on the game, 10-1.
Yeah, Ashton got the fly out that he needed on that one. Did not allow that strand that runner out there on the field. But Arkadelphia's going to have some long at bats. I believe Braxton Allen has thrown probably about 34 pitches through his 3 innings, and Arkadelphia is going to have to string some hits together.
Yeah, the thing about Braxton is he just throws a lot of strikes. He doesn't throw a lot of he doesn't have a ton of movement on most of his pitches. Now he's not really going to have to. He's got a 9-run lead. He's not going to have to throw a lot of junk. He really just pretty much fills it up, and that's what Arkadelphia's not been able to do. And Arkadelphia's just going to have to act like that this is not a 9-run game and go up there and put the bat on the ball. A lot of time left if they'll give themselves something to work with. Not a lot of time left if they keep giving up crooked numbers.
Yeah.
15 after 5, is that right? 10 after 6?
10 after 5,
10 after 5, 15 after 4. I don't know if there's a 15. I think it's just 10 after 5. I believe 5 innings is the minimum that you have to complete to be an official game. 10 after that 5. Arkadelphia, if they don't get something going here, may be dangerously close to falling in jeopardy of that. Is 10-1 now as we go to the top of the 4th. Leadoff hitter Tucker Johnson is up. JB is on deck.
I believe Ashton Cobb will end up batting in that spot because when he came in, he had to substitute for KD Young since Judson Kuhn is the DH. I believe that was just a straight substitution, and Ashton Cobb for KD Young.
Ball outside to start the at-bat. Pops up on the right side. Playing in over there was Cooper, and he's going to make the play in Texas League territory over there. It hung up just enough for the speedy right fielder to get there. Cooper still got a little bit of extra pep in his step from that grand slam home run back in the 2nd.
I would too.
Me too. Jarrett Bell now, he's up for his 2nd time of the game.
That's a good breaking ball from Allen. He started that one off on the almost in front of Jarrett, and Jarrett was ready for the breaking ball, but it broke more than JB was expecting, and he just caught that one with the cap of the bat.
JB, one of 4 juniors on the team, and 2-year starter for Arkadelphia. There's a ball that just misses outside. 2 balls and a strike now. That one comes in on him. 3-1 now to the Arkadelphia left fielder. Braxton's been cruising here, not giving up a run since the first inning. 1 down now, and Arkadelphia has its first base runner of the inning, and JB, who walks on 4 pitches. Out to visit with his pitchers, Logan Paul, and they have quick words and go back to their battery positions. Ashton Cobb now. Ashton's up for the first time today. Cobb hit in 2 games. He's got 2 at-bats, and he's 1 for 2.
Pretty good average.
Not too bad for a relief pitcher with a little bitty zone, and the first one misses a little high from Allen for ball 1. Bell away from first. Ball is hit on the handle back to the screen. Strike 1. Ball and a strike now to Cobb. 1 out here, top of the 4th. Malvern playing very shallow in the outfield. Not giving a lot of power attention to Cobb. We'll see if he can hit it over their head. Cobb's a pretty good hitter, good athlete all around. 2-1 count now. Arkadelphia needs base runners. That's exactly what they need. They don't need power shots right now. They just need base runners, and they've got somebody up behind them that can move them around, and that's Donovan Witten. Does not get the call. There is one that's a little outside. But I think it hit the I think it actually hit the black of the plate, and it's just he's so far set up. And there's one that's on the inside black that's to the right of the umpire's mask for 3-2. So Cobbs works Allen deep. He's back in. Bill crawls back up the bag, and not much of a threat to run over there on a straight steal for sure. And he gets Cobb looking. So a backwards K for Cobb in his first at bat. 2 outs now in the inning for Arkadelphia, and that's a hard one to take when you're down 10-1, needing base runners.
That's good breaking ball by Allen. You know, that one started right in front of the face of the left shoulder of Donovan. Just broke right down into Paul's glove. That was a beautiful breaking ball to start things off.
Couple of home runs on the year for Witten. He's batting .250. Struggled early in the years, picked it up some. Does have some power. He's got 14 hits, and most of those coming in the second half of the season. He's quickly down now 0-2 with 2 outs and 1 on for Arkadelphia. Judson Kuhn waits on deck. And there's one that's going to get over the second baseman's head and fall in for a base hit. So nice little poke there by Witten into short right field. Right fielders, all the outfield playing in. A little more than normal, but not enough to catch that one as it bloops over for a base hit. So now 2 runners on, and Judson Kuhn, who is a bunting machine but won't have that option, I wouldn't think, here. Probably going to be swinging away, and he does. The runners are going to come up on a pass ball. That one gets through the legs of Paul, so one of the first times that Arkadelphia has been able to advance on the ball back to the screen, and it puts the runners in scoring position for Kuhn with 2 outs. Judson, a sophomore. He's played some third base this year, some DH. Big swing and a miss. 1-1 now. Drew Rogers waits on deck if he's able to get on. And there's one that dangerously inside.
That's another pretty breaking ball. This was kind of the same one that froze Donovan. That kind of buckled his knees on that one. And he's ahead in the count, 1-2.
And a swinging strike three for Arkadelphia and Kuhn as the Badgers go quietly here in the top of the fourth. 10-1, trailing Malvern here in the second half of 7-4-8 conference action. Arkadelphia sitting at 4-5, currently in fifth place. They take 4 in the playoffs, and Arkadelphia dangerously close to losing any hope to get in there. They still have a couple of winnable games, games that we won in the first half of the season. Obviously, Hope and Mena sitting at the bottom of the conference standings. And Arkadelphia can win those, but that would not be enough, most likely, to get them in the playoffs. They're going to need to beat Fountain Lake and maybe even Nashville.
Well, if you win that Fountain Lake game, you're going to be square with them because their losses and your loss and wins and your wins and their losses are going to match up. So You've got to have that game. And then you got to try to, hope they stumble, and you can't. You can't afford a stumble anywhere the remainder of the season, especially against the teams that are below you. And so that game against Fountain Lake is probably going to go a long way in determining who's going to be that 4th seed between the Badgers and Cobras.
Jacoby Hart up. He was hit by a pitch his last time up, struck out in the second inning. So Hart is 0 for 1. Coach Ballesteri trots down to the first base box for Malvern. And there is a drive deep to left and foul. Thank goodness, because he hit that one a ton.
Fountain Lake at Mena. I guess they're playing today. And then Malvern, DeQueen, and Nashville left for Fountain Lake after the Arkadelphia game. So Malvern and Nashville left on the schedule for Fountain Lake after the game with Arkadelphia. Arkadelphia, you take a look at see what's left for the Badgers. After that Fountain Lake game, you have Nashville, Hope, and Mena. So the 0-1 pitch from Cobb is a breaking ball that bounces low for ball 1. Blake steps out to check softball. Jacoby Hart stands in with a 1-1 count.
Lady Badgers just took the lead back 3-2 with 2 runs in the top of the 6th inning over to our left. So Lady Badgers and Lady Leopards scratching it out over on the field right behind us.
Well, the 2-1 pitch fouled. Just got Hart just got a piece of that one, and then it got a piece of the home plate umpire as he fouled it with the cap of the bat, went under the glove of Hill and caught the home plate umpire in the leg. Hart's going to step out and give umpire a minute to collect himself.
So the 2-2 pitch here comes from Cobb. He working strike 3. Nice pitch there by Cobb. That one had some tail on it.
Well, and that was a breaking ball that started out over the middle of the plate. Starts out over the middle of the plate, looks like a big old beach ball, and then at the last second it tailed away from the right-handed batter and got to Hart. It was elevated. He elevated his eyes, got him up, and then had that one break away from him at the last minute. That was a really, really good breaking ball from Ashton Cobb to get the strikeout.
Catcher Logan Paul up. He's walked twice. And there's a good pitch that tails off, and Cobb's starting to get a feel for the zone now, and not only the strike zone, but a part of the strike zone that's hard to hit at that outside corner. There's one that gets low, and he's trying to come in with that one, and it dropped a little.
1 run on 4 hits for Arkadelphia, and 10 runs on 3 hits for Malvern. Now, you don't see that very often. You don't see that very often.
We've seen some ugly line scores this year, and this one is not There's a foul ball. Back out of play. Ball and a strike now to Paul. No one on, one out here in the bottom of the fourth. Arkadelphia trailing 10-1 in Malvern. Another strike that gets down a little bit. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Malvern catcher. Paul again with that wide open stance from the right side. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Popped up in foul territory, and I believe it's going to get out of play, and it does. It's into the bleachers and caroms around a couple of times, but harmlessly does not hit anyone.
What's going on over there, Bridget? Who ran into the wall?
Someone on the softball field, apparently he's had I don't think it's an Arkadelphia player. I believe it's one of the Malvern Lady Leopards. There's a fly ball into center field, and it's going to get down. Left center field, no one can get there, so kind of no man's land. Logan Paul's got his first base hit of the game. He's 1 for 1 with 2 walks. Tyson Cooper now, he big at bat back in the second inning, a grand slam home run and a sacrifice back in the second. So 2 times batting in the second inning and 2 times he scored runs. He's got 5 RBIs in 1 inning. And half those runs up there are because of this young man, Tyson Cooper, the right fielder. Babs back. He's got checking out the.
We're tied 4-4. Is that what I see? Oh, it's just the hits.
Yeah, that's the hits.
Now, one of the Malvern center fielders was chasing a ball and ran into the metal center field fence, and so they had to check on her. But Arkadelphia still with the 3-2 lead. Looked like, I believe that was Brianna Eddington on second base. We'll check it out and go give you another update.
Looking a little more favorable over on the softball field. And there's a throw behind the runner from Hill, and Paul was dangerously off of first on the pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Cooper. 1 out here, bottom of the fourth. Cobb coming set from the stretch. Kicks and deals. Fake there by Hill, throwing to throw behind Paul. 2 balls and a strike. Throw over from Cobb now. So a lot of excitement for the ladies over there, and a lot of excitement for the Leopards over here. Not much for the Badgers so far. Runner is not going. Missing outside and low is Cobb. Cobb putting a lot of emphasis on the runner, but with a 9 or 10-1 or 9-run deficit, you just want to get the hitter, and he's got a hitter that hit one that needed drink service on it the last time he was up. So definitely not wanting to come in the zone. There is a strike and a pickoff, or and Logan Paul is going to score all the way from first base. As an overthrow by the Arkadelphia catcher, it sails into center field, and Paul scores all the way from first.
Yeah, that tough throw there. You know, that ball was probably about 10 or 15 feet to the right side, to the first base side of the second base bag on that stolen base, and that was a tough one for, Donovan wasn't going to be able to catch that one. Tough one for Drew Rogers to try to get out.
So Coach Lowe going to bring them back out to Going to come back out to the mound. Cobb probably going to keep going. I think they're just.
Yeah, I think that ball was, Donovan. The ball was so far to the second base, the first base side of second base. I think Donovan probably assumed that ball was going to Drew. Drew was back there backing. Drew Rogers at second was backing up the, Donovan who was covering. That was a tough spot for both those middle infielders.
3-1 is the count to Cooper. No base runners remain. They've emptied. And 11-1 is the deficit for Arkadelphia.
It was a big run that they wanted to get home, too.
Hart's going to smoke that one foul down the left side. He's getting his money's worth. A lot of power for Cooper. Cooper just a junior, right fielder. He'll be back next year for Malvern. 3-2 is the count now with one out. From the windup, popped up, and that one will get out of play behind the backstop.
That got a vehicle square. That got one square.
Well, maybe it's not mine. So Cooper will go at it again with Ashton Cobb. Here's the 3-2 kick and deal. Strike three looking. So second out for Cobb is a strikeout for the guy that took him deep and 5 RBIs in the last inning. This time he comes back and fans him looking on a 3-2 breaking pitch. Cole Carey now, first baseman. He popped out in the last inning. And a base on balls his first time up.
Still 3-2 in softball. Malvern batting, and that was neither of our vehicles that got caught square on the top.
Good.
The spot I was going to park in, though. I'm glad I didn't.
There's a shot into center field. Should be able to measure it up is Trip Campbell, and he does for the third out as he comes in about 4 steps and makes the easy left-handed grab. So Arkadelphia gives up one more, and that gives that 10 spot that could be trouble for the Badgers, and they're going to have 3 outs to score a run.
Yep, you go back to the one misplay as the throw was, tough on a stolen base. That ball goes into center field, and it just seems like here that there's a lot of room in the outfield for balls to find the ground, for balls to find holes. And so tough for Arkadelphia. As you knew, Coach Knight was going to try to get that 11th run home to make it a 10-run difference.
Yeah, and he's got pitching to consider as well. Big week for Malvern as well next week. They're going to need some pitching as early. I believe they play a game on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. And so, yeah, a big game against Nashville. So they'd like to get Braxton Allen off the mound as quick as possible with a win today and have him available for Monday night with not too much work tonight, and that would be just fine for Coach Knight and Ballesteri, as he's done a good job today holding the Badgers to just 1 run in the first inning. So top of the 5th we go. Badgers trailing by 10, need to get a run across to extend it, and Drew Rogers is going to be the first guy up for the Badgers. And then back to the top of the order. Tate and Wynn on deck and in the hole for the Badgers. Good place for Arkadelphia to be in their lineup. Drew's done a good job getting on base. So has Tate. And Wynn has the ability to empty the bases with a good base hit to a gap. First pitch popped up and back and out of play for the lone Badger senior this year, Drew Rogers. We say it every broadcast, but we're glad to have Drew back. 2 years of injuries, had sidelined him since his freshman year, and finally as a senior getting to represent the class as the sole Badger. There's one that's skied high and drifting out of play. A little bit of little bit of breeze starting to pick up now from right to left that might have just saved that one from being a long foul ball out, as it does get out a little bit, just out of reach of Locke out there in left field. 0-2 the count now to the Badgers' second baseman. He started it short, now back to second. Reached down and saved his at bat there, fouling off a off-speed curveball that just gets a piece of.
Still 3-2 in the top of the sixth inning. Arkadelphia with a 1-run lead, 1 out, and Malvern has a runner on second.
Pop up to short left. That one may be trouble, but the shortstop getting a good jump on it. That's Weaver. He goes back into short left and is able to make the play from his deep shortstop position, playing deep in almost in the grass at short, and he's able to make the play over his right shoulder. So 1 down now. The Badgers down to a couple of outs to keep this one going, and top of the lineup we go again with Tate Goodrum.
Tied 3-3 in softball. Malvern gets an RBI, scores a run, 3-3 in the bottom of the sixth.
Strike one. Nice breaking pitch from Allen there that catches the outside of the plate. He gets ahead 0-1. Working quickly. Misses outside. Evens the count, a ball and a strike. Nobody on for the Badgers here. Top of the fifth inning. Needing to score a run to take the run rule limit out of play here as the Badgers trail by 10. Ball and a strike now. That one got a little piece of Paul behind the plate, and so the umpire will make a little leisurely stroll out there to give him a minute to collect himself. Gives him a little pat on the head, and everybody's good to go. Back in is Tate at ball and 2 strikes. Outside fastball that's almost just a dribbler down to short. The short right side is picked up by Allen, thrown to first for the out. So Arkadelphia now down to their final out. Needing a run across here in the top of the fifth. Pentecost, the batter. Fouls that one off of his right leg. Catcher going to give him a minute now, and he walks about halfway out. Bit of sportsman there. You don't normally see a lot of catchers giving hitters extra time. Here's the 0-1 from Allen. He's gone the entire way. There's an inside pitch that misses about belt high. Ball and a strike now to Arkadelphia's right fielder. From the windup. There's a pitch that just outside. Could have gone either way. Goes our way. 2-1. 2-1 pitch. Again, fouled off. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Arkadelphia down to their final out. And if you're listening to Badger Baseball and you enjoy our updates for Badger Softball, there's the final out, a strikeout of Wynn. If you'll hang on a minute, we're gonna go ahead and stay on the air until the ladies wrap up. We want to be able to give them a little bit of airtime. We're not going to be able to call each pitch, but we're going to give you some updates and talk about Arkadelphia's remaining games this season and next week as Arkadelphia falls 11-1 here at Malvern. You're listening to Badger Baseball on ArkadelphiaBadgerTV.com and your Mascot Media app. We thank you for listening. We're going to hang on for just a minute. We'll bring you a couple of updates here from Lady Badger Softball as the Badgers.
Yeah, now Malvern's up 4-3 with 2 outs, runners on second and third in the bottom of the sixth inning. So Malvern has taken the lead in the bottom of the sixth. And they bat with 2 on. There's a shot into left field. That gets down. That's going to score 2. It gets to the fence, and now it is 6-3 Malvern on a 2-out, 2 RBI double from the Lady Leopards. And Malvern has scored 4 runs. Oops.
Oh,
You're still live.
that's power.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
Malvern scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning, and now has taken a 6-3 lead here with 2 outs. So now it's turned to the.
We hope we're not bad luck for the Lady
Well.
Badgers. It was a great game until we finished up here. Do want to give you a little bit of heads up once again if you joined us late. Arkadelphia dropping 11-1 conference game, and both games to Malvern on the season, 11-1 here today, and going to 4-6 and staying in that 5th spot in the conference standings. Arkadelphia going to get a chance to really open the door or close the door on their postseason hopes on Tuesday night at home against Fountain Lake. Fountain Lake currently owning that 4th spot in the 7-4A conference standings. Arkadelphia is behind right now by a game to, and not sure what the outcome of Fountain Lake's game tonight. Hopefully they'll lose, have a loss tonight, and be able to not fall too behind. But Arkadelphia has got to really pick up a big win over someone that they lost to either. Well, particularly Fountain Lake.
Yep, 1st and 3rd now with 2 outs. Malvern batting, fly ball into center field. Looks like center fielder over and it catches it for the 3rd out of the inning. So the damage is limited for Malvern as to 4 runs. So now Arkadelphia trails 6-3 as they start the top of the 7th inning, and Arkadelphia is going to have to score 3 runs to keep things going. We'll see if we can tell from our vantage point who's coming up for Arkadelphia. Arkadelphia in the softball game, Arkadelphia scored 1 run in the top of the 3rd to take a 1-0 lead. Malvern responded with 2 runs, take a 2-1 lead, and then no more scoring for either team. Only scores come in 2 innings. It's been in the 3rd inning and the 6th. Arkadelphia scored 2 runs in the top of the 6th inning to take a 3-2 lead, and then Malvern responded with 4 in the bottom of the 6th, and that's where we stand now. 6-3. We stand at 6-3 Lady Leopards as we start the top of the 7th inning.
And Fountain Lake has Mina tonight, so not real sure, but Fountain Lake probably a big favorite there at Mina. So Badger's going to take back to the field. And
so I believe that would put a 2-game difference, if I'm not mistaken, 2 games difference between Fountain Lake and Arkadelphia.
So next week we'll see Fountain Lake in Nashville. Then Arkadelphia is going to close out the season with Hope on the 27th and Mina on the 30th. Hope will be at home, Mina will be at home. So Arkadelphia finishing on a home stretch in the conference against a couple of very winnable games. If they can pick out 1 or 2 next week, particularly that Fountain Lake game, they'll be in really, really good shape. Coach Lowe is giving the Badgers a little pep talk or a whatever you want to call it out in right field, and they're all on a knee, and they're making sure that I don't think anyone's moved.
Leadoff single in the infield. I believe that was from Gracie Dunaway, as we're still on, but we can't hear ourselves, so we'll keep talking and then try to – there we go. Now we can hear ourselves. But leadoff single for Arkadelphia in the top of the 7th inning, trailing 6-3. As the Lady Badgers need 3 runs to stay alive.
Lady Badgers have had a good season. They're making their case for the postseason as they're in really good shape in the 7-4A. Hopefully be able to, if we can't bring you the Badger baseball, we may be able to slip over to Lady Badger softball and bring you some broadcast of that. We know we've got those ladies have a following that's not able to make trips as well.
2 straight singles for Arkadelphia to lead off things here. I believe that was Rayleigh Jones with a single. So 1st and 2nd, nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning. Arkadelphia trailing 6-3, and Coach Coon's going to make a substitution, a pinch runner for Arkadelphia. And So Arkadelphia now with runners at first and second, nobody out. Michaela Gentry on deck.
So that's a tying run at the plate.
Tying run at the plate for Arkadelphia here in the top of the 7th. And this is a big game. And Coach Baker from Malvern, I believe, is going to make a pitching change or at least go out to the circle and talk to his pitcher. You know, this is a big game for both teams. At the softball standings, you mentioned that Arkadelphia and Arkadelphia, you know, in good shape there for the to make that top 4. If they can get one here with Malvern ahead of them, Arkadelphia will have a good shot of solidifying that postseason berth.
There we go.
I'm trying to stretch our equipment as long
Far
as we can stretch it.
Go, and it's not really wanting to stretch that far, but we're going to try to keep you. I'm going to try to keep you here till the Lady Badgers are done.
So still the count to Arkadelphia now with 2 runners on and nobody out in the top of the 7th inning. Arkadelphia trails 6-3.
The Lady
Fly
Badgers.
ball into right field is for the first out of the inning. Runners cannot advance. It was a good throw from right field in. And so now Michaela Gentry, the sophomore, will come to the plate. So with 1 out, she is the tying run now. Michaela has hit a couple of home runs this year. I believe she had a big one earlier in the season. She had a big 2 RBI shot against Mena last week in the Lady Badgers win at Mena High School, and she bats with 1 on, a 2 out, and a 2 on and 1 out. She's the tying run. First pitch is taken for strike 1. So Arkadelphia needing to continue the rally to send this to the bottom of the 7th as Malvern took a 4-run lead. The 0-1 pitch taken. I believe it was a called strike 2. So now Michaela Gentry's in the hole, 0-2.
Badgers and Leopards getting ready to get a few extra JV innings in, warming up, getting ready.
The 0-2 pitch, it misses for ball 1, so Michaela Gentry stays alive. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. Runners on first and second for the Arkadelphia sophomore. The 1-2 pitch, a fly ball into right field. It's going to be foul and out of play, so Gentry will stay alive again. The 1-2 pitch coming from Michaela Gentry. Is swung on and missed. It was a drop third strike, but because first and second were occupied, the Michaela Gentry the catcher did not have to throw down. So now Arkadelphia down to the last chance with runners at second and third as the runners did advance. So they're still at first and second. My apologies. So the tying run comes to the plate again. First pitch is outside for ball 1.
Breeze starting to pick up a little bit, starting to get a little bit of nip into the air.
It is cloudy out here this evening, and you can tell that front's coming in. The 1-0 pitch just misses. They call that a strike. So 1-1 the count now, 2 outs, 6-3 Malvern as Arkadelphia is down to the last out, tying run at the plate. The 1-1 pitch, a fly ball into shallow center field. Center fielder has a beat on it and makes the catch. And that is the ball game as Malvern defeats Arkadelphia 6-3 in softball. The Lady Leopards score 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th to take a 6-3 lead. Arkadelphia gets the tying run to the plate in the 7th, but can't get them home, and so the final 6-3.
So for Chris Babb, I'm Blake Bell. It's a pleasure bringing you Badger Baseball today. We'll be back on the air next Friday night from Nashville, Arkansas, as Arkadelphia will wrap up a second of the week next week. Be sure and come out to the Arkadelphia Sports Complex on Tuesday as Arkadelphia plays a big game against Fountain Lake, and then we'll be back in the broadcast booth again. From Malvern, so long, everyone.